didn't start.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, now we're going.
Hello everybody, Carlos and Don again. We're doing a quick video instruction on range of motion activities for his legs. Now I know that everyone who works with him, if you're a CNA or caregiver, you've had some training in range of motion. I want to commend everybody on the work they're doing on the arms. I think his arm range of motion and strength is really good, so whatever you're doing with the arms, keep doing it. I want to talk a little bit about his legs for a minute, in part because that tends to be where he holds most of his tension and tightness. When Don's in bed, he tends to be flexed, hips are flexed, knees are flexed to that tight position. And one of the things that we need to really be mindful of as his caregivers is how we position them and how we help to stretch these legs so eventually they get a little looser, hopefully a little bit more extension or straightening of the legs that will then allow him to weight bear and do some standing, who knows, take some steps. But that's kind of the future goal for therapy. So one of the ways we can encourage that is by doing proper range of motion for his legs. So let's go ahead and move the pillow. One of the things that I like to do when I first start working with Don is I had him in bed and I noticed that his hip joints or hip flexors, these muscles right here, were really tight. And generally when people start to spend more and more time in an upright position sitting, the muscles that usually get tight are the hip flexors, the one in the hip joints, these guys, the muscles behind the knee, the hamstrings, and the calves to a certain degree, and heel cord. Don's heel cords are actually pretty good. Hamstring tightness, definitely, big time hip flexor tightness. So a couple of quick points then. So if we're doing some range of motion in the chair, you notice that he likes to be flexed here. So one of the basic moves for range of motion is basically, move on this way, is I take each joint and we're going to do a movement around that joint. So we're going to focus first on the hip joint, then we'll get to the knee joint, and then we'll do ankle. So the basic range of motion for the hip joint is a hip flexion. Moving it up is flexion, moving it down is extension. Real basic. Hand positioning, you can put one hand on the knee, one hand underneath the foot, and you're just ranging it up and down through a full range of motion. Now what's key here is counting, making sure you're getting full flexion, 1, extension, 2, 3, 4, we'll just do 5 today. Typically I like to do 15 repetitions on each movement, ending in a stretched position. So if we're doing flexion and extension, I want to get a little extension here. Do you feel that up there, Don? That's stretching your hip? Yeah. So I'm applying a little pressure here just to get a little bit of elongation or stretching in the hip joint. So that's the basic move for stretching the hip and knee. You can also imagine that if he was lying in bed, this is kind of how you would do it if he was supine on his back. You would try to get the leg a little bit straighter. The key to good range of motion is really taking him through his full range of motion. If you know he can go this far and you only take him this far, then you're doing him a disservice. You want to take him as far as he's able to go into flexion. You want to take him as far as he's able to go. Obviously in the chair, the seat's going to block you, but you want to apply a little pressure there. Getting to the knee, I think of it like that old-fashioned water pump that you used to see in the old Western commercials. That's kind of how I imagine this move, where we're pumping that knee back and forth, right? You got that, see? So it's just like that little water pump movement. And again, one hand is to stabilize, the other hand is doing the work. And full extension, full flexion. Now, for those of you who are caregivers, again, full range of motion. Some days Don is tighter than others. Today he's a little bit more relaxed, so he's allowing me to do it. He's showing off for Kim, which is fine. On those days when he's tight, he will let you know. He will grimace. Now, for those of you who are really interested, if you want to come and see one of our therapy sessions, I'm usually cranking on him pretty good. So this is about, there it is. This is about his limit. So I usually try to take him up to that limit. If you're not comfortable taking him that far, breathe, buddy. It's okay. Don't force it, but do apply a reasonable amount of pressure into extension just to get a little stretching in these guys. And finally, for the third joint, we're just doing ankle. And ankle range of motion, like I said at the beginning, he's got good range of motion in his ankle. You're working this movement here, dorsiflexion up and down, piece of cake. Again, stabilizing hand is just above the ankle. The hand doing the work is right around the metatarsals, or just the base of the toes, if you will. Up and down, 10 to 15 repetitions. Circles in one direction, circles in the other. That's generally range of motion for the leg. Both sides, 15 repetitions each joint. If we can get on that at least twice a day, you will start to notice an improvement in his ability to straighten his legs out in a fairly short period of time. So it's a quick hit on. Yes, sir? Okay.